Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being American, and YouTube Ronin, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21. This series chronicles the 1990s cult classic television series Twin Peaks, co-created by David Lynch and Mark Frost. Its 25 years later third season, The Return, which was on Showtime in 2017, and the films of David Lynch. And having now seen all of Mr. Lynch's feature films, we are now moving on to television and films that were inspired by either David Lynch or Twin Peaks. And last week we watched the Psych episode Dual Spires, which had a number of cameos from Twin Peaks cast members. And tonight, going to be doing something a little bit different, even for this show. We are going to be covering an episode of the series Northern Exposure, which has been said by some to be the comedy equivalent to Twin Peaks, and I don't think that's entirely wrong. So, joining me on this odyssey, the panel I like to call the super fans. The man of the hour tonight, Age Boomer.
Hello. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm. Last call, Troy Pacelli.
Hey, how's it going?
And of course, last but certainly not least, Netters Network.
Good evening.
Okay. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, a couple weeks ago, I said, oh, yeah, Northern Exposure. Patrick Dempsey was on it. No, Patrick Dempsey was not on Northern Exposure. At least he's not who I think he was. The main character, Joe Fleischman, was played by Rob Morrow. Completely different actor. But Rob Morrow was also on Numbers, and I watched every episode of Numbers. He was the older brother who was the FBI agent on Numbers.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. That's all.
All right,
we'll forgive you this time.
This time.
I think y'all thought I was a Northern Exposure expert.
Well, you did talk it up as though you had watched it.
So here's what happened. I watched.
This is called backpedaling, everybody.
I watched the pilot for Northern Exposure. I said, you know what? I should actually make an effort to watch this whole show. I watched the pilot, and then Hurricane Ian hit my house like a few days later. Okay, so and I never got back to it.
Okay.
And you can't be blamed for that. I mean, how could you have foreseen a hurricane hitting Florida?
You know, smart guy. I swear. Anyway, I will tell you what the plot of Northern Exposure is, at least from the pilot episode, and I really enjoyed the pilot episode. Okay, the pilot episode features a young Dr. Joe Fleischman, a neurotic young Jewish physician from New York City, and according to the computer, fresh out of family medicine residency, is legally contracted to practice medicine for 4 years in Alaska, according to terms of a student loan underwritten by the state. Yeah, he argued. Yeah. Oh, I know. I guess everybody thought I was rich because I was a young Jewish man in New York. Nope. So I needed money, and he wouldn't get any. He couldn't get any. What do you call it? Any scholarships, and then finally he got this thing for Alaska, where this one group. Look, you have to work in Alaska for 4 years, but we'll pay for your medical school. Medical school, of course, is very expensive. So he said, okay, what's the worst that'll happen is I'll be stuck in Anchorage. There's still some Chinese restaurants over there, right? And then that's not where he ended up. He ended up in the small town of Sicily, I think it's called on this show.
Yeah, and
it really is a fish out of water, as it says it here. And he shows up and he is like, no, I'm not doing it. I can't, he can't stand the locals. I forget what he called them, hillbillies, or he made some nasty, right in front of them. Like, he's like, no, I've stiffed because and here's the thing. He's acting like a complete ass in the first episode. Right.
Right.
And I get it. And this is the weird thing. I get it because much like Dr. Fleischman here, I was a young man, a teenager from the Northeast, I lived in the shadow of New York City, and I'm like, well, that's where all the culture was. And then I get moved down to Florida, and I'm like, no, no, no. And so I understand him getting moved out to this wild area and not liking it, not liking the locals. I get it, and I had to acclimate myself. It's called the Northern attitude in Florida. People have talked about it, but it's if you live in New York City, and I don't know if this applies to other cities, and you are forced to go somewhere else, you're gonna look down on it. It's weird. That's it.
Well,
A lot of
so the way you described it
Yeah.
made me think of a movie with Michael J. Fox called Doc Hollywood.
Mhm.
And so I really quick went and checked. Northern Exposure's first season was 1990. Doc Hollywood was 1991. So it's not like Northern Exposure could have been inspired by Doc Hollywood. It would have had to have been the other way around. So just
So I have not watched the whole series, so I can't comment on this, though I know it would have weird episodes, and I think basically it's almost like the Twin Peaks without the paranormal stuff, if I can explain it to you. Like all the
Well,
weirdness of the locals and how weird they
yeah,
are and they get a secret.
that's what
It's
it
like
sounds
that.
like.
It's like that, but without like the overarching murder mystery with like that sort of thing. Do you understand?
this
That's how I
may
would
end
describe
up
it.
being a thing that I make Troy like pull up the seasons and watch if I like this
If she
episode.
likes it, yeah. And yeah, that's the key. I mean, you can compare it to Twin Peaks, but it's the ambiance is similar. They both take place in the Pacific Northwest. One is Washington State. This one takes place in Alaska.
Eh,
So you probably have some similarities there. You definitely have the small town, Pacific Northwest, yokel type, sensibilities, which is where I'm sure a lot of the humor comes from. But yeah, you don't have a murder mystery. You don't have the weird supernatural stuff. All the weird comes from the people. And I have absolutely no idea who Cynthia Geary is or what character she plays, but I definitely want to find out more.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Listen
Very
to me though,
memorable role.
but I'll say this to you. You're comparing Pacific Northwest maybe in comparison to a place like Chicago or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be more rural, maybe things, but it still will feel a lot more like civilization than where he ends up in Alaska. This is like the boonies.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. But I could be wrong here. I mean, like I said, I only watched the pilot, but I kind of got it. It's like a culture shock. Like, okay, yeah, you're okay, so you're not going to get to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, but there's still but you can still go down to like your favorite chain restaurant at least that you knew from where you were or something. You don't get any of that, I think, in this.
So you think it's more like Dual Spires, where you can't even get
yeah,
you're
stuck.
A mobile connection or something like that.
It's funny they didn't have cell phones yet, or maybe they did have
True.
cell phones at this time, but they weren't as widely used. So I don't
Sure.
know. He don't want to be there, and of course I keep wondering if there's going to be an off and on romance with the one played by Janine Turner, who also has a boyfriend, and I think he has a fiance back in New York City too. So
Well,
it's this thing, yeah.
The issue with Janine Turner's character is she's had a number of paramours, so to speak. They have this tendency to be akin to Spinal Tap drummers. Let's
Yes.
say.
She keeps losing the men in her life.
They have the tendency to
that's sad. That is very, very sad.
Which is sad, but it is at times played for very dark humor. One tie between Northern Exposure and Twin Peaks is Grant Goodeve is in both shows, and he at the in the opening season he plays a character named, I believe, Rick, who is often mentioned before you finally see him. And then he comes to a very sticky but darkly funny end, where he gets hit by a falling satellite. And he is kind of melded with the satellite. So they bury him with the satellite.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dead Like Me.
Yeah, it sounds like Dead Like Me, except instead of it being a satellite, well, I guess it was
And Dead
almost
Like
like
Me
a
was a
satellite.
toilet.
It was a space toilet, yes.
Yeah. So there's some very kind of dark humor in this show, but it is for the most part what I remember of it anyway. Very lighthearted, or twists and turns of in plot. Certain characters go in kind of directions you're not expecting them to go ultimately. But they're quirky as hell, man. You also have Maurice, who's Barry Corbin, who's kind of the mayor of the town, who's this kind of former astronaut.
Korean War too, I think, right?
Korean War as well. There's kind of a love triangle going on between him and John Callum and Cynthia Geary, and she has this thing for kind of older guys, obviously. So there's that going on. You have John Corbett, who plays Chris, who's the radio DJ in town. He's kind of like the Greek chorus in a way. You have Ed,
He owns
who's
a gas farm.
yeah. There's an Ed here as well, folks, and yeah, he runs a gas farm. He is Native American, and he kind of envisions himself as kind of a Woody Allen-esque director. So there's this whole thing of he eventually wants to make a movie, and when they get to the character of his grandmother, Grandma Woody. When they get to her, it is hilarious because she's kind of dressed like Whistler's mother, but she looks like Woody Allen. It's funny. It is so hilarious. And
Woody Allen.
and the whole and Fleischman has a local who's like his secretary, and she takes no crap from him at all. She has his number through the whole thing, and she doesn't do very much. She says very little, but she makes it count when she does. And so yeah, there's quite a cast of characters, and I haven't gotten to everybody yet, but when you sit down and when you watch this, folks, you will very quickly get the vibe of it. And I kind of hesitate, trying to compare Northern Exposure to Twin Peaks, because I think it's very much its own. It's very much its own thing. But there are definitely some similarities.
And I think this is where I can inject something. Not having watched 0 episodes of this ever, I obviously had to do some research as I was finding this episode to present to you guys today. I came to realize that a little bit of backstory in why this particular episode exists, not the episode per se, but the segment within it that clearly references Twin Peaks. It was the showrunner's desire to kind of give a nod back at all of the outlets. Apparently, during the show's heyday, a lot of people were comparing it to Twin Peaks. And I got the impression that the showrunners never intended that they were trying to even really homage it or anything like that, unless maybe they looked at Twin Peaks and said, oh yeah, it'd be nice to do a story in a small town in the Pacific Northwest. But that's about as far as it may have gone. So then they decide, okay, you want some Twin Peaks? We'll give you some Twin Peaks. But it's not the whole episode from what I gather. But let's check it out and let's see what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
I would like to very quickly acknowledge the chat before we do.
Hello, the chat.
Films with Friends, Big Out Presents. Channel member JPRPH1. The voice of Northern Oklahoma, channel member Curtis Selby. Channel member Geek Flag with Nate Knows. And I did get your DM, Nate. Thank you. All right. Moving on very quickly. The Bird Woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. You see, scrolling. I'll hide. Still going, folks. Netter with her hi, sweeties.
Hi, sweetie.
Sergeant Tiratina. Good to see you, Sarge. JPR Pierce one. Spoilers. Yeah. 30-year-old show, guys.
Yeah, right.
That's like when we went to go see Passion of the Christ and we came out talking about the movie and some guys going, shut up, there's spoilers. And we're like, dude, it's the story of the Bible. If you don't know that,
if you don't know the guy gets nailed to a tree, then you've been missing the past 200 years. No, what is it?
2,000 years.
2,000 years. I was off by a decimal point. Yeah, see? So exactly what is the statute of limitations on spoilers? Yeah.
A decade, I think.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So 2,000 years, apparently.
The Cosme link should be pinned to the.
That's Cosme and not Cosby.
Yes.
This isn't about pudding pops.
All our chats, because Boomer, I think you're up as well, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look at that. Let me say hi to everybody.
Oh.
Hello, everybody.
And I should maybe get over to the Cosme room.
Oh, yeah, I suppose I should do that as well. Sometimes I forget that it doesn't just automatically start playing for me and take me there.
All right. I do also want to remind everybody really quickly that two things. Number one, obviously, Northern Exposure is not public domain yet. So for those of you who may be new to this broadcast, you will have to follow along with, if you're watching live, you can follow along on Cosme. If you have the DVD, you can follow along in that way. This is the Russian flu episode.
And I believe it's on Amazon Prime, too.
Episode 5 of Season 1. It is on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. And you can also watch in that way. And I also do want to remind everybody who is currently watching along with us that if you stay in the Cosme room after the show is over, you will get the Blake 7 show as well with Troy later on.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, if everyone is ready, hello to Andrea Black. I see you there in the chat. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release the moose.
The moose?
I do know the theme tune. That did trigger a memory for me.
So look, I think that moose's name is Mort, correct?
That's the Flappy of this show.
Yes,
right?
yes.
No, don't even get started on those two.
I think Flappy did audition, and they're like, no, we want to go with a moose.
No, we want to go bigger.
Yeah, much bigger.
It's
no, there was some
ability, but size.
Right.
Yes. No, there was almost like a Norman Mailer fight between these two. It was not pretty, from what I'd heard.
I would imagine.
I noticed that the doctor's sign had Joe and then a very tiny L. And
Yes,
a weird angle,
and there's a
slowed
lot
down.
of talk on the wiki about that. Okay, good soundtrack.
Now, this is a couple episodes after the pilot. Let's see how he's adjusting.
That song lasted through his entire shower.
Of course, she was also doing copious amounts of drugs.
Not necessarily. When you do the Wookiee growl, it sends me.
Well, that's a little different. And it's how I do the Wookiee.
That was so cute. That not him, the porcupine. Is that Keanu Reeves?
No.
Looked like him.
Yeah. Yikes.
See how his mood
paid you in
changes.
advance, yeah. Yeah, who is that? He does look familiar, and I don't mean because he looks like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
All right. Ed is played by Darren Burrows, and he also has a very famous actor uncle by the name of Billy Drago, who you might remember from The Untouchables and many other movies. They look you can tell the family resemblance.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And that's Grant Goody there, right?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, forget Elaine. Just hang around here.
Yeah.
Exactly. You gotta ask her.
Okay, I am liking this show just for the soundtrack. If nothing, hello.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna not do this now. Bless you. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's capitalism for you.
So he
Supply and
got
demand.
a refund from the other guy.
So I've been told that there are certain references in this episode.
Yeah, it doesn't come till later in the episode.
Okay.
The scene will be obvious.
And that's what people think Alaska is. It's all snow and ice, polar bears, igloos. It's like,
Yeah.
For the most part, it's not very well developed, like a lot of Canada.
you want to see Alaska? Watch Ice Road Truckers. That's a
Yeah.
great show, by the way.
What did you do?
That's exactly what he's thinking. Well, your fiance doesn't want you rubbing you the right way.
Yeah.
Speaking of rubbing you the right way.
Hey.
Oh, look, now there's sandwiches in the chat.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
Yeah. Eddie.
We go from the pastrami on rye down to the French dip. Oh, and a Reuben in between.
Oh. Ugh. Here we go. Let the outbreak begin.
Exactly. Russian flu. You kind of, you hear the title, you get what you expect.
Of course, that's
Vodka
Jessica Lundy as Elaine. Haven't seen her in anything in a while. She used to be in. She was on just about every television show. It seemed like at the time.
I think she was on an episode of Seinfeld, wasn't she?
Oh, I'm sure she was.
He does remind me of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh
That,
God.
that's for good warning, Vietnam, right?
Hmm.
Close. Everybody sick. Healthy health wanted. What's going on here? Is it a virus of unknown origin?
Well, when this is the Russian flu, they probably don't routinely inoculate for that anyway.
Right. Brooklyn. He sounds kind of like Woody Allen in his
Yeah.
mannerisms.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a bit of Jewishness there.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know why my
It is.
okay. I'm gonna kill the
Subtitles.
yeah, because they've gotten completely off.
It's all right. Why? It might. Maybe
Apparently.
it'll work.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Joey is a nickname of Joel or Joe.
Okay, yeah, I could see where this would grow pretty thin pretty quick. Well, well, that's fair. Wow.
Well, this was a 10 o'clock show, so.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Used to be able to with more after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Remember NYPD
Yeah, it's kind of
Blue?
similar to the British watershed concept.
Hey!
It's bad for your health.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no, that's racist, we were told.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with what they're talking about, but you're right.
What? Wow.
Honestly,
I don't know.
this is actually ringing very different after you described the pilot episode. After the things you said he said about them to their faces, he's kind of got this stuff coming.
Yeah, well, now they're throwing it back at him. Well, yeah, he was. All right, what?
Yeah.
Even if there is, she is now asleep.
Let's see. I don't know.
And
Oh!
She's sick. I knew one of them was going to get sick. It just made sense.
The pastrami on rye inoculated him from the flu.
Yeah, I guess it's better than covering yourself in crap.
And then there were 5. I knew it.
That would explain it. Yeah.
Oh no. No. Oh.
You're not sick.
What?
This is the alternate history moonlighting, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, moonlighting was a big thing.
What's that for the dog? Jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, they are really going off the deep end this time. And not for the last time.
What are these?
Keep going.
What?
In other
Jeez.
words, they're putting like moose dung on everybody.
Probably, yeah.
Everyone has an Uncle Louie, right?
Right.
What's he gonna smear on her?
Huh?
No, is he gonna try this stuff?
Yeah, you know what it is? The virus is so disgusted by it, it runs away.
Maybe.
Hello to Slasher Fred.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Oh God, God,
Probably
no,
also
no.
cold. And how long does she have to have that stuff on?
Frickin' Germans. I won't explain that.
And why'd you have to put it all over? Shouldn't you just have to put like around the
I don't
neck
know.
area?
I don't know. Doesn't have to make sense. Uh, meanwhile, back in New York.
Look at that. Soubrettes. Ah, New York City. Got to keep up with the hustle and bustle, you know. New York Public Library.
Shakespeare in the Park. Yeah, that's a very New York thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Where's his sister?
All right.
Uh,
All right, I'll call her later.
wake up.
Oh, he knows he's dreaming.
Chocolate mousse.
The literal chocolate mousse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hello. Oh, it's a dream. Right, right, right. Bilking the insurance companies.
Oh, he was dreaming.
She's still covering that stuff. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh god. Oh no, don't tell her about the dream. Don't.
Something's not right.
Stand by me.
Uh-huh.
Huh. Didn't see that coming.
Oh. What? What's going on?
Here you go. See, they got waterfalls in Alaska too. A
Shouldn't that be cherry pie? Cherry pie.
log.
We see you. Tuesday.
I'm gonna guess she's Jewish too.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember what last name she gave, but yeah, it was
Shulman.
Shulman.
Okay, yeah. Well, at least you got to snog her, for crying out loud. Oh,
Yeah. That's our Flashman.
Got to clean all the gunk. Oh.
No. He has a sample of the stuff. He can send it out for analysis.
True.
No, he's not doing well.
I'm dying. Disgusting.
Not doing so well.
No.
Send some off for analysis, like Netter said.
I know, right? What a strange show. And I'm someone that watches Twin Peaks.
It gets weirder.
Where's the moose?
But I still say the best episode, at least of the ones that I saw, was when they tell the story of how the town got founded.
How the town what?
How the town got founded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, did you like the Twin Peaks reference?
It was brief.
Yeah, it was very
extremely
brief.
It seemed completely out of order. It was like shoehorned in.
Yeah.
It's like
I got the impression that was intentional because they were kind of basically saying, we didn't base this on Twin Peaks. Everybody says we're like Twin Peaks. Here's a couple references. Now leave us alone, damn it.
I like the, do you have any cherry pie? And he says, I have banana cream.
I got banana cream.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about me wanting you to like download seasons.
You didn't care for it that much? Okay.
Joel is a jerk.
Well,
kind of.
He's really full of himself.
Out that way.
It's like
should we skip to like season 3 or something like that?
Okay.
Maggie seems nice.
Yeah.
Netter,
everybody else is like no.
He's dealing with very bad culture shock. That's part of what's going on there. All right, he's still suffering from it.
Honey, I moved from Illinois to Kentucky. That's a culture shock, and I got over it just fine.
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to figure out why you'd want to come back to Illinois, though.
I was with my ex then.
Yeah.
And we had to. His dad died.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's one way to get out of Illinois, I guess. Just saying.
Well, that's kind of the arc of the show is, yeah, the guy is kind of a jerk. His chief problem is he can't get out of his own way.
Yeah.
And the arc of the show, as far as his character is concerned, is him getting past that. And in coming to this town, this is where Joel and Cooper kind of equate. It's almost like eventually he was always going to wind up there.
Yeah. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
You know, he by coming to this town, being around the people, and when, like I said, when they get to that episode about the founding of the town and he's told that story, that's when he starts to make the turn. And becomes
less of a dick.
Yeah. And that's when he starts to realize he needed to come there.
I'm more sympathetic to him than I
has to
think
go forward. Yeah.
And I don't know. I am kind of sympathetic with this character. I don't know why. Maybe I get why you don't like him, but I'm just saying, I don't know. He doesn't like change. He was comfortable where he was, and he's stuck there. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You know, one of the things that also takes place is a lot of the people in the town are not from there. Maurice isn't. Halling isn't. Maggie, not Maggie. Well, I don't think Maggie is either. But
no, I think she's from Missouri or someplace.
Cynthia Geary's character isn't.
So they're in purgatory. They've all died, and they've ended up in purgatory.
Now it's sounding like a J.J. Abrams show.
Yeah.
Which was, of course, inspired by Twin Peaks a little bit.
You know, but the point is that everybody who comes from the outside, who comes into the town, it's almost like they come away changed. You know, you see the arc that Maurice takes over the course of the show. For sure, it's
interesting because it looks like the main character takes like the longest to change from the way you've described it.
Yeah, but but it's almost like he has to catch up to where they are.
Yeah,
in a way. So, that's how I look at it. But yeah, I'm kind of going off of memory and my perception of it at the time. This is a show I haven't seen in 30 years. I don't think this episode tonight, I didn't recall it when at first, but now that I've seen it, I don't think I saw it since whatever 1990 or whatever when they aired it.
Sure.
So yeah, and like I said, the last couple of years, like season or two of the show, there's a specific reason why I didn't see it, because I felt that there was a point where the show logically ended and it kept going.
Yeah,
So,
see, that's another problem I have with a lot of
thing.
shows. Boomer and I talked about this in regards to Smallville, going on for 10 seasons. I said it was a show that needed to either end or evolve. I said after 4 years in Smallville, they should have either changed the show format and called it Metropolis, or they should have moved him up to like the big screen and started anyway. I just think a lot of shows do that. They hold on to their formula longer than they should.
But there are some, like I said, some really memorable episodes. And I can see why people call this the comedy Twin Peaks, because it really is. And because one thing you got to understand is that there were also shows that tried to imitate Twin Peaks and didn't last.
Right.
Wild Palms comes to mind. Even though I liked Wild Palms for what it was, it didn't last a season. And they had to kind of very quickly jump to the end, and it threw too much at you. Angel Falls, which actually has Peggy Lipton in it,
Wow.
was another one, but that really was more kind of like a Knots Landing type of thing, in like a Twin Peaks skin suit.
Yeah.
So you had these
that's
shows that were kind of the imitators, and I think the reason why Northern Exposure lasted when all of those other shows didn't was because it was very much its own
yeah.
animal. And
It's like it wasn't even
yeah,
trying to be a Twin Peaks
it
analog.
was no, it was trying to be its own thing. There are certain episodes that were later on that you do start to think, is it same? It's almost like
Yeah.
you could look at it as it's same universe, but it's kind of like I'll put it this way: separate but equal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see why people look at this and say it's too bad that there wasn't a crossover of any kind.
Well,
because I could
feel
see
like
that happening.
I feel like there was a whole brand of Twin Peaks fans that rebelled against what Twin Peaks was. They wanted it to be something else. And that something else is probably more like this Northern Exposure. They wanted it to be something that was weird, okay, fine, but still understandable by them. Instead of being able to go, okay, I don't fully understand this, but I'll go with it,
Yeah. But like I said, there's a lot of really fun character stuff, and there's serious moments too. Why Maurice and Halling kind of were at odds for so long. You get to find that out, and it's a pretty hard hitting episode. So you get some serious stuff in here too.
Yeah.
Like I said, the episode about the founding of the town, it is kind of equal parts comedy and drama as well. There's, and you saw Fleischman having a dream here.
Yeah.
You get to see several of those throughout, and they lead
Wow.
to some pretty funny moments,
Gotcha.
as well,
Yeah.
because it is his subconscious trying to smack some sense into him.
Yeah.
And whether he gets the message or not, depends. But
Right.
it's like, deep down he gets it. It's just got to get up to the brain.
Yeah.
And then it's got to accept it. But it's an interesting show. Like I said, there's a certain point past which it could end. Who is the dreamer? Yeah, there's kind of a little bit of that in here. So there is dream imagery. It is trying to get through to this guy, and like I said, you got to smack him around a bit before he gets it. But I recall it being a pretty fun show, and I think up to a certain point, it is worth a look. It for anybody who hasn't seen it, and you see how the characters progress over time, and you, like I said, some of these characters are not from the town, and you'd be kind of surprised by some of the backstories too, because you kind of realize that some of these people are coming from some pretty dire straits. So yeah, and then kind of and when they get into like Cynthia Gary's character, I keep forgetting her name. I'm sorry. Cynthia Gary's character's backstory. I think Valerie Perrine is her mother. I think, if I remember correct. So there's like a whole backstory with her. Chris's parentage kind of comes into question. And he runs into someone along the way who kind of answers that question. It's pretty funny when he that guy. Okay, so it's I thought it was a good show. I remember liking it very much at the time, and whether or not that was like a Twin Peaks influence or not, or you got to understand, kind of me in high school. I'm all over the place. I'm bouncing off the walls. I'm basically walking. I'm basically hormones incarnate. So you throw the women on Twin Peaks at me, and then also on this show, and then you start to go, yes, I enjoy this program, Mother and Father, and if you don't mind, I'm going to take another nap. And
and that magazine's just for the articles too.
Yeah, and so I remember liking this show quite a bit, and it's perhaps one I should revisit sometime here pretty soon.
Cool.
Be nice to sit back and watch television the way it was.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of what other episodes. What other TV shows were influenced by Twin Peaks, supposedly?
Well,
I think Picket Fences is another one. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say I mentioned it last week. The one that stands out in my mind, of course, is that Simpsons episode with Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Well,
which of course was also a reference to Dallas, but
yes,
they definitely got some Twin Peaks references in there as well.
I'm sure.
Well, that was a two-parter that would almost fill out an hour.
That's right.
If you felt like doing
I could probably find that for you for next week if you want.
That might be an idea.
Sure. Sure.
That might be an idea. We do an episode from each of every show that people say Twin Peaks influenced or something. I don't know.
Well, see, I'd be afraid to do that with. I don't think there's any direct references to Twin Peaks in Lost. I just feel like
let's not do Lost, please.
The idea of a show like that, the paradigm shift in shows, this episodic type of television, definitely was influenced by Twin Peaks. And I know that the folks at Bad Robot reference Twin Peaks, in interviews, but I don't think there was anything there that I could point to and say yes.
I guess I'm trying to think of more like its peers, like around the same time. Yeah.
The other show that I would say, another J.J. Abrams TV show was Fringe. There were some direct references to Twin Peaks, as if it took place in the same universe, but not enough, even less than in this episode. Just one quick reference to, Dr. Jacoby in Washington State with the 3D glasses and all. That's about it, But, yeah.
Yeah.
All righty then.
Interesting.
Well, everybody
Yeah.
talk at once. Yeah.
Okay, I like the moose.
You like the
Especially the
moose?
chocolate
Well, you-
mousse. Yeah,
No, not the chocolate moose. The moose.
the mousse.
Oh,
Mousse.
I
Okay.
like moose. They seem to be friendly. Is that right? Maybe not.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to get too close to them. They're potentially fairly dangerous. It's
They gotta
just
be
that,
friendlier than gators, right? See, if it was a Florida space show, it would be gators.
yes,
It would be the
yes, it
gator
would.
that would be, because they're awful. They're
Well, my
horrible, horrible creatures we have down here.
my favorite gator reference is in the movie with Rutger Hauer, Blind Fury.
Yes.
Where he's blind and he's going along the road and his cane hits a gator, and he's like, "Oh, nice doggy," and he steps over it. It's like, "Doggy, wow."
No,
And you always get the feeling that the gator's like, "The hell."
I think he was in Florida in that scene too. Is that right? I think he was
I think that was the shtick there. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah. So there you go, guys. I don't have anything more on this. I didn't know anything about this show really until this is the most I've seen of an episode, and
apparently I saw more episodes of it than anybody. So.
No, yes, I think you did.
Possibly, yeah.
I would catch it off and on, but I was more of a picket fences watcher. I think that was another contemporary show of this time.
Yeah, that was another one. That was a David E. Kelly show.
That was a David E. Kelly show. That's Don Cheadle's early role, as I recall, on that show.
Huh.
It was
I don't recall him, but
he was one of the lawyers on it. He was the DA. He was the town lawyer for the city, and then there was the Jewish guy was the guy who was the defense attorney. They would always go at it, I think, in the courtroom. Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Okay.
But Lauren Holly was on that show. I remember that.
Holly, yeah.
Yes.
Tom Skerritt, of course, is the
sheriff. Yeah. But
Holly Marie Combs.
Oh,
I
like
remember
her,
her.
yeah.
from Charmed. Before she was on Charmed, she was the teenage
Charmed.
daughter.
Yeah.
I remember at one point I was reading Entertainment Weekly that it said Picket Fences and the X-Files is Twin Peaks split in half. That's what somebody wrote in one of the magazines. And they were supposed to do a crossover episode between the two series, but because they were on different networks, neither network wanted to budge. But I think Chris Carter and David E. Kelly talked about it and having this weird little crossover. I guess maybe Mulder and Scully would show up in the town of where Picket Fences was and investigate something. Yeah, but they didn't end up doing it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, to go off on an X-Files tangent, because I've kind of had X-Files on the brain recently.
Yes.
For some odd reason. Keeps popping up. Is, X-Files kind of had enough crossovers on its own because it eventually did cross with Millennium. I
don't count it. I don't care.
I know you don't count it, but it's there. No, Boomer, I'm completely with you. Millennium needed to end on its own terms.
Millennium was its own show. And when Millennium was on, the way they would do crossover, the way they did hints was they do little in jokes you'd have David Duchovny on some poster, before and after, at this firm or something. It was a joke. It was an in joke. I never got the impression they took place in the same universe. And it bothers me that they did. Never mind. I'm sorry. I don't feel like going on a rant. We'll be here for a couple hours. Okay. But yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I'm totally willing to let you rant.
And I love Millennium. In some ways, I love Millennium more than the X-Files. I love both of those shows. But yeah.
Oh, I agree. I agree. They're both good shows.
They all take place in this kid Westfall's head, and he's staring into a snow globe.
That's another thing.
Yes, the snow globe.
that the only thing on television that was real was the last 10 minutes of St. Elsewhere. And I say,
Yes. Yes.
I can't go there. I can't go there because
doesn't that end up destroying Hill Street Blues in the process because that had a crossover with St. Elsewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll go off on this tangent. Here's what happened. All right. So let's say, okay, the only thing that was real, the only thing that was outside of Tommy Westfall's head was the last 10 minutes of St. Elsewhere. Okay, so what does that do? All right, Alfre Woodard's character wound up on Homicide: Life on the Street. So that takes out all of the Law and Order series because Munch wound up on Law and Order. Richard Belzer, may he rest in peace.
And he was also on Homicide. That's right. Yes.
He was in Homicide, and he wound up eventually on Law and Order. So all the Law and Order shows.
Law and Orders, yeah.
Munch, who is Richard Belzer's character, is also made appearances on the X-Files. So every show that was quote unquote related to X-Files, i.e. Strange Luck, Millennium, Harsh Realm, all of those, The Simpsons, because Mulder and Scully are on The Simpsons.
True.
Those shows are all gone. They're all in Tommy Westfall's head.
Great. Well, Nowhere
All
Man
right.
is still left alone.
So far as I know.
One
now,
season, poor Nowhere Man. Okay.
Munch was also on a TV show called The Beat, which I don't know if anybody remembers. It was a cop show that actually had Mark Ruffalo in it. It was like the first thing he was in.
Interesting.
It was Mark Ruffalo. Jeffrey Donovan was in that show. Poppy Montgomery from Without a Trace was in it. So that show is gone because, Munch was a recurring character in The Beat. So The Beat is gone. So, and now here's where things really start to get crazy with this Tommy Westfall theory. Now, you heard me mention because Mulder and Scully were on The Simpsons, we're on an episode of The Simpsons, that The Simpsons is now also in the snow globe. So everything that The Simpsons references, and we're going back to like I Love Lucy and shows like that.
Yeah, the problem I have with that though
inside
is that unless I'm mistaken, Mulder and Scully had are you going to tell me that for that brief period of time they suddenly had 4 fingers on each hand?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the chemicals in Springfield.
I don't the canonicity there is very dubious.
They had one episode where they aged 60 years and then they were able to come back to normal. Okay, come on.
Right.
So it's like, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but that's just because I love hanging out with you guys so much. That I've actually gone to Tommy Westfall. But so basically, in short, fuck St. Elsewhere, go to hell. You made a stupid ending to your show, and for some reason you decided to take down half of every television show ever made along with you with this stupid theory. But no, I mean, it. I know I'm bagging on St. Elsewhere, another show that I've maybe seen 2 or 3 episodes ever of, but
and honestly,
they had a lot of good actors on that program. So it was a nice
kind of like Bob. it's kind of like Bob Newhart, you know, and the end of the last Bob Newhart show where he, you know, wakes up and, you know, the whole show had been a dream of his character from the previous Bob Newhart show. And it's like, that's clearly meant to be a tongue-in-cheek joke.
Yeah.
Don't take it too seriously, you know.
And people took it as that. As, okay,
Yeah.
that was Bob Newhart made it funny. Yay. You know,
Yeah.
that's why we're here.
Well, and that's one of those, wow, that was a great reference. You know, that they actually brought what's her name back, and you know, that's brilliant, you know.
You know, but you know, when you have Tom Fontana come out and say, "Oh, well, that was always my intended ending for the show," I'm like, "Oh, shut up!"
Right, right.
You know, you just, you know, you tried to pull a fast one, and you did, you know. If you think of St. Elsewhere as the show ends the second Ed Flanders and Ronnie Cox walk out the door.
Yeah.
And then you just don't watch that last 10 minutes. Okay. You know, but you know, they did what they did. And you know, it's a fun rabbit hole
Actually,
to fall down.
There is another
is.
much more reasonable way to look at that ending.
You
know, that kid just had a snow globe of the hospital, and you know, had all of his own ideas about what was going on there,
including all the medical terminology.
Well, that's a great point. You know, you almost have to start going down that rabbit hole. Does he know that much about medicine and things like that? I would argue it's just a kid who's got a snow globe of the hospital. That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
And he might also be a genius who knows medical terminology. He's like, okay, I got the snow globe with this hospital. So what's going on here? Okay, well this doctor's going to treat this illness with this patient and do this and that.
It does lend itself to a little bit of a Twin Peaks-ish kind of who is the dreamer kind of thing. You know, just I think that would. I think it's being taken too literally by fans of something like St. Elsewhere. I do think that fans of Twin Peaks would look at it and go, kind of in a very David Lynch kind of way. Interesting, you know.
But I'm just saying that, and again, you know, for whatever ungodly reason, I've been doing some reading up on St. Elsewhere and some of the plot lines, and there is some pretty nasty stuff that happens on that show.
Yeah.
And, you know, really, holy smokes, how did they even get that on television?
Yeah.
Then kind of stuff. I mean, they hit on some subjects that a lot of the shows that were on at that time were afraid to go near. And St. Elsewhere went there. You've got, you know, you have the whole serial killer plot line. One of the main characters turns out to be a serial killer.
Wow.
One of them self-deletes.
And I've always
you have, you know, you have the first, you know, major character on television to contract and die of AIDS.
Yeah.
You have, you know, and you know, there are other things that YouTube probably won't let me go into, but you know, it hit pretty hard, some of those episodes. And so it's kind of hard for me to think that all of that came from a child's brain. That's my point. That's why I don't buy into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of ludicrous.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of people that go, you know, it's like the meme, you know, of the mind going kaboom, you know, you know, it's a lot of people taking it to its logical conclusion, to be honest, saying, well, if that's true, then this, and if that's true, then all of this, and if all of that's true, then all of this, you know. But rational minds go, I'm putting way more thought into this than the people that created this show. They were just trying to give you a twist ending, you know. And we all know that some twist endings are better than others. Some are better thought out than others. And this is not the sixth sense. He was dead all along. This is more what's his name? Marky Mark goes back in time to find, you know, that Abraham Lincoln is now a chimp, you know.
Classic ending.
Oh, jeez.
I'm joking. You know,
Yeah,
I have totally seen some people really go through some mental gymnastics to explain how that ending makes sense, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's still
It
just
doesn't.
really bad time
It doesn't.
travel.
No.
Yeah.
If they had
There's
just
no-
left it where he leaves the planet and that's the end of
Yeah.
the movie, I would have given the movie a pass. I wouldn't have said it was as good as the originals, but I wouldn't say it was a bad movie. That stupid twist ending ruined that movie.
The whole, I don't know if this is a fan theory or if this comes from something that Tim Burton said. I don't know, but either way, it doesn't really work. The idea is that the ship that's left behind somehow Caesar figures out how to, or was that his name?
Villain,
Was it
whatever
Caesar?
his name was, Kodo or whatever the heck his name was. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Tim
Roth.
Tim
Yes,
Roth
yes.
character figures out how to fix it, and he goes back in time, but he goes way back in time and completely changes, you know, the world, starting in, like, I don't know. I guess it would have had to have been Civil War era or something like that. He would have had to have
instead of
taken
Abe Lincoln, it was Ape Lincoln. Remember, they were making a point about that. Yeah, so
and
bad.
that is a stupid pun that obviously wouldn't be real in that timeline. It doesn't work. There's still no reasonable explanation for, I mean, at least these other sequel, prequels, whatever that we've gotten recently,
Yes.
at least tries to go through the whole, this is how the virus worked and this is how the chimps took over, and
Yes.
constantly making references that could plausibly be tied to the original films in a
Or
way
at least
that,
in spirit. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
Whereas this is like, no, just no. You know
why?
And I see Mark Melnikoff is in the chat. Welcome, my friend. He's probably eager because we did mention that tonight's episode of Blake 7 will answer the mystery, potential mystery. What happened to Servalan?
And judging by a couple of things I know happen later in the season, I think I'm starting to figure out where this is going. So we will see.
I have been desperate not to give any spoilers because you know, if you think that twist endings are giving those away is a spoiler. And I know this Blake 7 is, what is it? It's like a 30-year-old show, isn't it? Maybe more, 40 years. And the ending many people have talked about, and I don't want to spoil it for those of you that aren't already on the know, but I'm sure some of you guys that have been watching this show know where this is going, so I don't want to ruin it for everybody, but that is where I will be in about 40 minutes.
Cool.
All right. So, as Troy said, yes, in about 40 minutes will be the next episode of Blake 7. Those of you who are already in Cosme, please stay there because
Yeah, just stay there.
That's where the show's going to be. So we'll go one time around the horn, and we'll start with Troy. What do you have coming up?
Well, besides Blake 7, very shortly, of course, we have Liquid Lunch every day, every weekday at noon. Tomorrow will be WTF Wednesday. I have no idea what I'm going to be WTFing, but there has been a lot of potential things to talk about. Then Thursday, I will be co-hosting over on Netter's channel. She'll tell you about that. And Friday, I will be because the chat demanded it with their super chats. I will be hosting a karaoke party on Friday that will start on this platform and then move over to the more greenish pastures of
and
the other platform.
I got roped into singing, you poor things.
Yeah, you guys really ponied up the super chats, and now Netter has to sing. So there you go. And that's Friday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Of course, co-hosting on Big Al's Films with Friends on Saturday, co-hosting with this guy here on Sunday. He'll tell you about all that. And that's all I got.
All right. Netter.
Well, let's see. Right after this, of course, I am going to be over on Troy's channel, simulcasting on my channel for Blake 7. Then on Thursday, my special guest will be Stark of Iron. And so we'll be talking about him and what he's been up to since the last time we spoke. See, Friday I'll be co-hosting on Last Call. Saturday I'll be co-hosting on Big Al. Sunday I'll be co-hosting on Geeky Geezers. Monday I'll be co-hosting on Last Call, which brings us back around to next Tuesday.
All right. Boomer.
Well, I will be on Friday Last Call with Troy Pacelli over here, and for the karaoke night. And I will also, Geeky Geezers this Sunday, will have some interesting things to talk about, including how a certain major game is not coming to the Switch 2. I'm not going to say what that game is, except for the fact that, I don't know, I thought that Microsoft made a deal that they were to buy this company. They would be bringing the series to all major platforms, and I don't know what's going on here, but we'll talk about that Sunday, because sounds like they lied. But I don't want to say that out loud. Not on this channel, at least, no. That's all.
Right.
Sorry. Oh, and also maybe a new edit to the James Gunn Superman movie coming to home video. That was another thing that may make Superman's birth parents not so bad.
All right. Well, that brings things back on over to me. Let's see. As of right now, I don't have any appearances planned for tomorrow. That's not to say that I won't show up somewhere. However, Thursday, if all goes well, I will be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater. We continue our month of samurai movies with Sanjuro, which is the sequel to Yojimbo, directed by Akira Kurosawa and starred Toshiro Mifune. Later on that night, there will be coming attractions. That'll be at 11:30. My chance to let everybody know where I am going to be for the next week or so. Up to and including, I will be there for Last Call for the karaoke show.
There you go.
Let's see. Saturday, I at a time yet to be determined, I will be joining Pop Culture Minefield for a spoiler review of the movie Weapons. And let's see, also 4 p.m., I am going to be joining Gary and the gang once again as their Bond month continues, and I think GoldenEye is going to be the next movie they're going to be talking about. I'd have to check on that, but that's going to be coming up. Of course, later on that night, after hours karaoke over on Outlaw Bill's channel. I usually show up in the midnight hour for that. Sunday, Western Cinema Presents at 4 p.m. Film to be determined. Unscripted at 8. Topic to be determined. Reserved seats, 12:05 a.m. Guest to be determined. It's Tuesday, guys. It's not all planned out yet. I know I have been promising some member streams, so who knows? I might do that Sunday instead. Let's see. Monday will not be a mystery movie night, so I'll be joining Troy and the gang for the members' night at the movies. Whatever that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. Yet to be determined. And of course, join us right back here, same bat time, same bat time channel for the next episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21. Topic to be determined. But at some point, there may be a house that might be haunted. That might be something we might talk about at some point. Maybe if I can Shanghai these youngins over here into this, because I was shanghaied into this show by this man who threatened me and forced me to come here. No. No. So yeah, there's Live from Sparkwood in 21 is not going anywhere, folks. We are here to at least come to your house and have a midnight snack. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm trying to be funny, folks. Is it working? Please say I'm funny.
You're funny.
I think I'm funny. I tried. There are 53 people watching right now going, who is this schmuck? Get him off the screen. Hi, it's me. Good evening. Hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be back next week. Netter, would you like to please save the broadcast with your closing?
Well, you all know that we think you are totally Osmo. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we want to thank you for being here tonight and joining us for this very strange episode of Northern Exposure, which I frankly don't think was the least bit Twin Peaks-y. I think they forced that one little scene in there just to try and make it seem Twin Peaks-y, and no, it failed. I also want to thank each and every one of you for the many ways that you encourage us on the panel, as well as each other in the chat, and the many ways that you support our channels. We don't do this for us. We do this for you. So I'm really glad that you like what we're doing and you keep coming back. And as long as you keep coming back, we'll keep doing what we're doing. So thank you again for being here. Remember to stay put and you'll be redirected to Blake 7, either Troy's channel or mine, depending on how the forwarding is set up. But until then, good night and God bless.
And thank you once again to Ruby Hoove for gifting a membership to Troy's channel. Who is the lucky winner, Troy?
Oh, I did not catch that. Let me take a look. Let me see.
It's Jesse Green, 619.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Welcome back, Jesse Green. There you go.
Cool. All right. And as I always say at the end of every show, thank you all once again for joining us from HQ, the corner of Sparkwood and 21, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy, because this is how we win.